local man received commutation from President Trump before he left office. Corvain Cooper was serving a life sentence after getting a third strike for selling marijuana.
Tell me who wanna run with us. Mobbing back to back in them Bentley trucks. Blowing on that saucy to set me tough. I used to take that package, I would wrap it and send it up. Now I put money on your books until the day that you sent this up. One nigga Corvain said he living.
Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Tons Talk. I'm Anthony Allegretti. My partners are Corvain Cooper and L'Oreal Allegretti. We are the 40 Tons brand, a social impact cannabis brand dedicated to freeing the cannabis prisoner, as well as bringing more diversity and inclusion of BIPOC communities into the space and freeing and helping those with past cannabis convictions. Tons Talk is our official podcast where we talk to folks that have been positively or negatively or both by the cannabis plant. We want to hear their stories. We want to know what they went through. We want to learn the mistakes they made, the successes they've had, and just learn about the plant from an advocacy point of view, a growing point of view, a business point of view, a culture point of view. And that's what Tons Talk is all about. And today we have a very incredible guest, a good brother that I consider my friend. We've built a good relationship, although it's been a short period of time. It's been a good period of time.
Yes.
And we're just going to take it to the next level. I'll kind of let you, say who you are, what you're about, but Mr. James Green, welcome to Tons Talk.
Oh, thank you. I definitely appreciate the invitation. My name is James Green. I'm just a regular person, nothing special, I was lucky enough to be a social equity candidate, and I partnered with Catalyst, and now we have a dispensary on the corner of 83rd and Normandie, and
okay,
we're trying to
give it up.
We're trying to bring good product to the hood. You know what I mean? Well, I won't even say the hood, to South LA, because the hood is a mentality. So you can have people that live in Brentwood and still be hood. So it's definitely a mentality, and it's actually a currency that people sell. So we'll get into that later on. But
sure.
I'm just trying to just bring a fair market over there. It's a lot of traps over there, unregulated weed flooded from different little people who are trying to make a fast buck. So just want to bring something over there that's clean, that, help benefit the community a little bit, work with the community to try to, get some projects done so it won't look like a predatory relationship or anything like that. I'm from the community, of the community, for the community, by the community.
All of the above.
Check my background, who I am.
Man, that's major.
Regular, you know what I mean?
Man, you already know.
Right.
You actually brought a special guest who's off camera right now, who's actually very legendarily, instrumentally a part of the 40 Ton story. Randomly, you just bring him. I had no idea that you was doing this. This is another,
it's
this is generation
thing,
before. This is generation after you, but another legendary dude. Mr. Team Kadaya, Mr. Cato Fornia. Oh, my mama is in the building.
Cardiac movement in the building like the bottom stairs bathroom. 40 Tons brand, baby.
So, man, thank you for bringing him through. It was good seeing him. I ain't seen him in a minute.
It's a vibe thing, man.
It was love.
Good vibes are going, it's like they said, once you find out everything is a vibe. So, me and Kato have been vibing for years. Me and you vibed when we first met and everything. And I know how to put good things together. And I figured, just to bring him along, something told me, I got the spirit of my heart. I gave him, hey, Kato, I'm about to go do this. Knowing that he is a veteran of the podcast world, and this is my very first one. I wanted to get some tips and pointers from him.
Sure.
Not knowing that he knew you. So it's really a vibe thing.
Ain't that crazy?
I mean? Yeah, I just go with it. They tell me what to do, I do it. You know what I mean?
And just so you know, that's from before the 40 Tons conspiracy. Yeah. That's before prison. That's before all that. Cato goes back with CV for 20 plus years.
Yeah.
Cato was selling weed in the neighborhood 25 years ago.
Man,
you know what I mean? Sorry, Cato. It's past the statute of limitations, but it's past the statute. But that's what was going on 25 years ago. So it's just ironic that you bring him here. So
I'm gonna tell you,
kudos for doing that.
It's a vibe thing, like I said, and I go with the flow. You know what I mean? And and I am sensitive to different little forces. So it was a coincidence that I brought him, but it's not really a coincidence.
It's energy.
I walk into the actual building. I've never been here before, and I see one of the pictures from somebody who painted from my other business. It's right there on the wall.
The White House, Inglewood, Tony White.
So basically, it's
that's energy.
It's confirmation. You know what I mean? I'm not even amazed by what's going on no more. It just confirmations and that I'm going down the right path.
Man, make sure you get a shot of that too,
Yeah.
LJ. When before we get out of here, he'll tell you where to get that artwork.
Yeah, right there in the hallway, right there. The halo thing right there. The little that's from my studio, my other business.
That's fire.
So imagine that. You know what I mean? The randomness of that. You know what I mean?
Random.
And the randomness of this, but it's not.
Did
random.
you tell Tony that?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, he told me you've been there and everything. So, like I said, it seems random.
Oh, because it's after hours in Hawthorne. Makes sense. Makes sense. Right down the street. So, well, look, man. Welcome to the show, man. You know, here we just want to tell stories of those that have done it before us or that are currently doing it, and just get their take on the plant, get their take on what they're doing. You know, I guess we could jump right in, man. Like, what's it been like? First of all, even before what's it been like. Were you in the weed business before you got into the, obviously the rec market? Were you in the weed business back in the day, or were you more of a consumer?
Well, actually, way back in the day, before I started working and everything, when I was in my early 20s and everything, everybody was messing around with the stress market. Used to get the Mexican bricks and everything. And,
40 tons.
Basically, I grew up in a nice middle-class family. I didn't have to do anything like that, but being that I wanted to learn the tenets of business, and in my neighborhood, my part of town, the most prevalent business was the black market, moving something. So I didn't want to really deal with the clientele of the other thing. I wasn't that ambitious to want to go to crack, but we were, young gentlemen trying to understand, the math behind buying low and selling high. Purchasing per person and everything. We understood that. We had little
logistics, moving it around, all that.
So I would throw a little QP in my little hood of my car and bring it back and break it down and everything, before I figured out that, the game actually is set up for you to fail, because the better you get and the bigger you get, the more you attract heat that's going to bring down your downfall.
Yeah.
So that's how it's set up. It's like a Chinese finger trap. The more you pull back, the tighter it gets. So once I understood that part of it, then I realized that what I needed to do really was study the game. And, you try to put the theories into action, and you know what I mean? But at a certain point, you need to learn that the game is designed for you to generate a certain amount of money and take that lump sum and go legit. It's not something that you do for years and years and back to back. You go to jail, get back out, do it again, get caught, and that would be a life story. The game is designed for you to make a certain amount and then go legit. If you look at history will tell you that the biggest families in America, the Kennedys and these others, their family made the lump sum.
Came out of Prohibition.
Made the lump sum and went legit.
It's awesome that you bring that up, because we're in an industry that is going through that transitional phase.
Yes.
And so we're really a part of history. 1996 is really the birth of legal weed,
Definitely.
Right? And then, obviously guys like Doc Ray, and some of the other legacy farmers up in the Triangle, and even, just all over the country for that matter, were growing before this. So like they even helped pave the way even to get us to 1996.
Their sacrifices paved the way.
We're only 25 years into this industry.
Infancy.
It's an infancy, right? We barely moving into adolescence.
The human mind doesn't develop fully until a person is 25 years old. So the industry itself won't probably right itself or correct itself until it's 20, 30, 40 years, and it's streamlined.
And it's changing for the better. I forget how the quote goes, but it's like, once once a mind learns, it can never go back to its old ways.
Oh, definitely.
Right, so it can never change. I forget how that
once
is.
it stretches, that's it. It can't contract again. It's
right,
like a
it just
muscle.
continues, right? And
Definitely.
so this industry is continuing. We're going through what we're going through. I'm very thankful that less people are going to jail. I'm thankful that there's more access and opportunity. However, we haven't hit the pinnacle yet where no one's in jail, where everybody has access. So I say that to say, like, you're a social equity owner, correct?
Yes.
And you went through the process of, going through the LA applicant process.
Yes.
Tell us what that was like and how it was for you.
Well, the actual process is pretty complicated for the average person to look at. It can be, navigated, and you can be, tutored to do certain things, and but really, it's sort of complicated. But it can be done. Definitely can be done if you study it, and you'll learn it if you really want it. I was fortunate enough, like I said, to partner with Catalyst. So part of the,
how'd you meet them? If you can you talk about it?
Well, you know what? I'm gonna tell you. Like I said, vibe. I'm alive today because I learned how to read vibes, and I understood them. I used to ignore vibes because I was more interested in what I wanted. But once I learned how to read vibes and interpret them, then I understood that they open a door for greater things.
Vibes are louder than words.
Yeah, definitely. You just have to listen to them, and then and just, I mean, it's in all of us. But with that being said, I have another business called Mr. Paint and Puff, and I have a friend who's actually a real estate broker, and she knew because we were looking for a place that we can have Mr. Paint and Puff so it'll be properly zoned. And she knew some other ladies who were brokers, and they were friends with the owner of Catalyst, Elliot. And when they were talking, she said, well, one of my friends is a social equity candidate. Let's hook him up with Elliot because he's looking for some. And they are the ones that actually had the conversation. They introduced me to Elliot and everything, and then after that, it was history.
Oh, man. And so
it was on a whim that she had mentioned to someone else, and they took the initiative, and we're all friends still to this day.
And this was when, 2019, 18?
Right around when they first introduced the program. And then I'm going to tell you another vibe. Something told me, because I was actually trying to go find out more about licensing for, for Mr. Paint and Puff at the time, because we were doing with, trying to find out if we could do it with marijuana before we introduced it, hookah, and everything. So I went to the DCR, and the DCR, they were telling me they don't have any zoning for it yet, so I'm ahead of my time. And, I was getting frustrated. But the gentleman, we were talking and having, and conversing, and he told me about the social equity program and what you need to qualify for it. And then, and I understood what he was saying, so I went back and I thought about it, and I said, let me apply. I do qualify for it. You never know what can happen. So I applied, and then they had the lottery for the first 200 people, and I was number 39 in the lottery out of 2,000 people.
Wow.
And when he did it was kind of like crazy, but, they told everybody at a certain time to cut their computers on at 10 o'clock, and the first 200 applications that were completed that went through would be accepted. And we were, like I said, we were number 39 out of at least 2,000 applicants.
Wow. Right? So you get the lottery, you hit the winning lottery ticket. We say clemency is better than the lottery because our guy Corvain had a life sentence and he hit the lottery when he got free. So you get the lottery, boom, now you're in it. It's ready. I got the license. Now I need the partners.
Hits.
Then the pandemic hits.
I already partnered with Catalyst.
Oh, prior to.
Yeah, once my friend, the real estate brokers, hooked me up with it, and then we decided we were.
And you applied together.
Yeah,
got it.
They actually applied for me, so that's why I made it, because their workers, and shout out to Blake and Damien and all that.
Their legal team probably they super hooked it up.
Did it.
That's right, and that's what it's about: connecting with the right folks to make the right things happen. Yeah. And this is where big business and little business come together and work. And I don't even really consider Catalyst big business. I consider them culture business. You know what I mean? That just grew to being big. You know what I mean? So then now they could reach down, help pull people up. So shout out to what they're doing over there at Catalyst. And then just really heavy in the community and doing the different things that they're doing, especially Long Beach.
Definitely. Revitalizing the community, creating jobs over there.
Yeah.
That's the Party on Pine.
All
that.
Things
they're doing on Pine Street. They're doing big things to move their headquarters to Pine. So they're invested in the community.
Super. They got Catalyst Cares. Yeah. My guy James Marks. That's another OG your age. That's super.
We had a great Christmas tree giveaway at our actual. Before our grand opening, they did a beautiful thing. We gave over $10,000 worth of Christmas trees away. So.
Oh, come on, man! See, that's I love stuff like that, man, and I just love when doing that. And, of course, we're promoting it and we're talking about it because as we should. But this is what you need to promote. This is what we need to promote: the positive side of cannabis, and not just always the negative things and all the ratchet stuff of this side of the industry. So, shout out to you guys over at Catalyst. Tell us about Catalyst Normandie. Tell us what y'all doing over there. Now you guys are launched. Is it what you thought it was gonna be? Is it different? Is it better?
I'm gonna tell you one thing. Everybody thinks that once you get into the retail game,
you're a millionaire overnight.
That's the golden ticket. You know, they wonder what kind of car you're gonna get, where you want to live. You know, when are you gonna retire? You know what I mean? If you're gonna forget about them. But the truth is, and everybody needs to know, you know, when you're dealing, there's business tenets. And these are the principles of business. And we're in retail, which means we buy a certain product and then we turn it around and sell it for a certain price. So it's called wholesale and retail. And what you sell it for and what you bought it for, that right there is called a profit margin.
Correct.
And that's how you make your money. You buy it for 10 and hopefully you can sell it for 15. But there's a thing called competition, and competition will force your price. So with that being said, the profit margins on marijuana
are not all they cracked up to be.
Are slim, because we can't charge you $65 for an eighth and all that craziness they used to do back in the day. All that is over. Retail is crashing. So with that being said, we have to have a certain amount of volume of customers for me to actually benefit from the dispensary. So I have to run at least, let's say, I would say maybe about 200 people a day through my dispensary for me to actually try to even profit off of it. And that's kind of hard to do when I'm sitting around a gang of traps and other competition like that, where people can go to get the little 3 jars on the counter for $25, some bullshit weed that, you know, somebody didn't flush and rushed to market and it's clogging up all your over capillaries and everything in your lung. You think you're coughing because it's good.
He said over capillaries.
Yeah, you know, you think you're coughing because it's good.
That sounds like something Cato would say.
Yeah.
Over capillaries.
Cato, can I give him a definition of over capillaries, man?
Over capillaries, when it's too many capillaries that's compiled into the pillar of the amenities.
And you hear
in the internal side of your body.
And you are hearing that. Okay, and you were hearing that from a man who has one lung. Okay, all right. Kato got one lung right now. Survivor. This is the only man that got shot 3 times that I know. 3 separate occasions. Okay.
Wow.
On Valentine's Day.
Man, someone must have loved his ass.
On 2 separate occasions on Valentine's Day, he survived being murder plots.
What girls did you piss off?
I only roll with solid people. No, it wasn't even like that. It was random things. This man's a survivor. That's why I only roll with solid people.
That's the love, man.
Battle tested.
That's real. That's real.
Battle tested.
So shout out Cato. So you're around all these traps. So you're trying to sell, you know, what you're doing in retail. Retail's tough, and you know, to add to that, it makes the industry tough, right? It's not just retail, because everyone wants to say, "Oh, it's the retailers," and then the retailers will say, "Oh, it's the growers, it's the brands, it's the manufacturers." No, what it is it's the over compliance, the over regulation, and the fact that you can't earn off of a supply chain. So, you know, in order to have a $50 eighth, right, that means you have to get it to you at a $20 wholesale, right? Which means if you buy the weed at $1,200 a pound, you divide that by 120, which is the amount of eighths in a pound, really 128, but for loss and all that, you count about 120. That means you have a $10 per eighth cost to your weed. Add another $1 to $2 for packaging and stickering and testing, and don't forget the manufacturer needs to make his piece, and then Mr. Distributor has 20% that he needs, and then the tax man comes, and the tax man has his hand in all of that. So then now that $20 wholesale unit that I'm selling to you, Mr. Retailer, it cost me $18. So now I got a $2 profit. Don't forget, I got taxes, overhead, marketing just to my personal side. I didn't even bring in my expenses. I'm talking about the supply chain expenses.
Yes.
So then now it's been squeezed so tough, nobody can make money. And Mr. Retailer wants to sell it for more, but how can he do that when Mr. and Mrs. Trapper down the street is selling it for half the price without the tax?
Well, you know, like I said, you have to look at the game for what it is, okay? What they do is they go ahead and they open it up for the average person, and they say, "Hey, we gave them a shot." You know, they let all, you know, go ahead and get you licensed up. You go ahead and go. And then they tax it real good.
And then they take it back.
Once they tax it real good, you can develop the base and everybody, you know, appetite for what it is. They roll in the big dogs, and when the big dogs come in town, the first thing they do is payroll legislation through the local city council members that they put up that they payroll, and fund through their, re-election efforts to change the legislation to relieve the tax. Quietly. It'll be piggybacked on another big bill, maybe for homelessness, something in a little corner. Oh, we're going to relieve the little tax on this and that. Once the big dogs come in, because that's what they do. They learn, that's the game is politics. And us collectively, we don't have enough power to change the politics behind it.
The politricks.
But, so what you have to do now is understand the game. Okay, look, all the retailers, you have an opportunity to develop good relationship with brands or to launch your brand. So get ready, because once the big dogs come in and wash out retail and take over, the Amazons and the big tobaccos and Philip Morris, and they come with this mega weed that they're going to introduce for cheap, $10. You won't be able to compete. So you need to develop your brand so that you can go to Amazon, Walmart, Target, and say, hey, this is us. We've been around all this time. We got a following. Put it on the shelf, and I can direct traffic over here to sell this stuff.
Straight up, and that's the blueprint.
Yeah, and that's how it's going to be, because the bottom line is, you don't, like I said earlier, you don't go to a brewery to get a beer. You go to the liquor store. So it's all about branding. Your brand needs to be recognizable to your...
I'll go to a brewery to get some beer.
No, you will. No,
I'm a connoisseur now, and I like Belching Beaver peanut butter stouts.
Definitely, but let's say when you on the way home, you're going to stop by the brewery or you're going to stop by
the liquor store.
Exactly.
Point made.
There it is.
But, it goes back to a conversation I had with a former guest, Doc Ray, about craft.
Yeah.
How do you turn craft into scale? And that's difficult, right? Because anytime you get scale, even some of these big brewery companies down in San Diego, had a problem. Like, do I sell out to make billions of dollars because distribution can get my beer everywhere? Or do I keep it craft, but then my distribution isn't that big, right? And so where is that happy medium between craft and commercial? Because at the end of the day, I'm not doing this just to make a little bit. I mean, yes, your beer drinkers, your weed growers are going to do it just for themselves, but like, this is to feed our families. This is to feed a generation. This is to feed my grandkids, and we can't do that off of a small batch, anything.
Yeah.
So, how do we do this? And I think it goes back to what you're saying of, building those relationships, because if you have the retail side and he got the grow side and we got the brand side, we all work together and then we grow it together.
It's an old saying, your network is your net worth. Okay? So in every form of commerce, you're going to hit the crossroads of distribution, whether you're dealing with music, art, entertainment, whatever. Distribution is a hub, and once you get to a certain point, you have to deal with it. So that's the next thing. We need to take control of that.
Yeah.
Start our own distribution, our own networking, find out, we don't have to, that's the thing about it. The beautiful thing about America has all these dirty secrets. We know the history of it, we know this and that. But in America, you can use innovation to find a way. And when you use innovation, you're rewarded. America rewards you for innovation. Basically, you find a problem, they're hitting the wall, you understand to go around it. Once you go around it, you show people this new way, you get paid.
It's so funny you bring that up, man. Distribution is the game, man. I started a distribution company 24 years ago, and it was a video distribution company. We would sell videos, and everything about the way that I would get, everything about the business to sell the videos, everything was legitimate. The only thing that wasn't was the way I got the inventory. But I shipped it, I labeled it, I did all the transacting, and the accounting was all legitimate except for my inventory. I was hustling videos. And so I learned the distribution game.
Oh, yeah.
And back in the day, when a movie would come out, it didn't go directly from when it was done to sell. It went through the rental companies.
Yes.
And then you would rent it. That's why I remember VHSs would cost $80 if you lost them, was because during that stage of the game, there was a 6-month period where you couldn't buy the movie. You could only rent it.
Yeah.
So then there was a margin on if you could come up on those videos and get them to the different distribution spots all around the country. Back in the day, there was video distributors. Now it's direct from where they're made now to retail. They cut that part of the people out, so all the distributors got lost and bleeded. Yeah. And so I learned distribution at a really young age, man.
Yeah, definitely. But also the cornerstone of distribution
is logistics,
marketing,
and marketing. Yes.
But first, you have to be able to connect with your customers before you can distribute. They have to know that you're the hub. Marketing is the bloodline of every business. That's why you're branding, marketing. Everything boils down to marketing. Those are the tenets of business. You can sell fucking water to a well if you market it right.
Right.
I'm fucking right now drinking water out of a plastic bottle when I have water flowing free out of my house because it's marketed from Fiji.
We need to check Fiji.
We're in a capitalist nation. You need to know where you at. This is not a socialist nation. This is not a theocracy or anything like that. You know what I mean? This is a capitalist nation. Those are the tenets of business are always going to be first. America goes to war over business. Okay? That's what we go to war for, business. And you need to learn business because either you're going to be starting a business or you're going to be victimized by a business.
You either get down or lay down.
Yeah, that's how it is. So, basically, you just have to learn. And any business, if you start a business out the trunk of your car, plates out of your house, if you're selling crochet, if you're selling a service, if you know how to set rat traps or whatever, if you know how to cut grass, shit, even if you're just out there selling pussy, it's marketing.
And we don't want you to do that, but we're making a point, though. We don't want you to,
but it's legal some places. And it's all marketing. Why?
It's all the way that you present.
That's why she wears that. That's why she walks like that. It's marketing. It's cold as hell.
That's what it is, man.
So once you learn that, it's everything. And that right there leads to distribution because you have everybody coming to you for the new. It's a thing called social currency. Okay, that's what I believe in. Social currency is when you have information, and when you share information with people, they appreciate what you're saying to a certain degree where they're like, oh, okay, when I'm around you or when I'm talking to you, we talk about things that enlighten me. So your conversation has social currency. Social currency leads to marketing. Marketing leads to distribution. Distribution are the veins and the arteries of business. So
I love it.
That's how America works. So you can't get mad if you can have the best whatever. You can have the best plates. You can have the best weed. You can have the best rap. But if you can have the best anything, but if you can't market your shit, nobody knows about you. You're gonna get
your capillaries.
That's how it is.
And your capillaries is clogged.
Yeah, it's called a stroke. It's called a stroke.
Your
business will have a stroke. Your business will get the foment and it will cease. Whatever your movement will cease without marketing. Why do you think terrorists blow shit up? Because when they blow it up, you can start talking about, oh shit, somebody blew it up. Who was it? These crazy motherfuckers. Why do you think ISIS cut off heads? It's marketing.
Right.
The cartel hang bodies from bridges for marketing. Don't fuck with us. Learn marketing, you'll eat.
Yep. And to take it a step further, use marketing and use it for the positive.
Yeah, definitely. And once you learn marketing, then you recognize when somebody's running marketing on you. You can't. It's harder for you to become a victim of marketing. And then marketing, and what we call marketing, where I grew up from, is called game.
Right. Okay. Drop some game on me, OG.
Game. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So all the marketing. So you've been talking about a lot of core business tenets and principles. Tell me how you've applied those, with your business at Catalyst Normandie, and what are you guys doing to be different and marketing wise, and whether that's internally with your team, whether that's the display, or whether that's the product, like just in general.
Well, I'm gonna tell you honestly, I'm a student to the game. I'm learning as I go. I don't have no ego. I'm trying to surround myself with people smarter than me to teach me things so that one day I can, be able to apply the things that I learned. So, like I said, I have experience in business and in businesses that I've created and whatnot, but I'm learning as I go, and I'm seeing what works and what doesn't work. What I want to do is, like I said, marketing is everything. And you look out into the horizon of your competition, you see what they have and what they don't have. There's a lot of traps around me.
And what's a trap for the viewers that don't know what that is?
A trap is an illegal pot shop. Okay. And they have weed that usually is grown in a rush, in a hurry, and rush to market that has usually they use different chemicals to enhance the weed and make it bigger and better. Sort of like how they sort of like a fast food restaurant giving chickens extra vitamins to make them bigger and buffer. You know wings don't ain't supposed to look that big. You know what I mean? These buds are super buds. They're given to you for cheap price. There's always a price to pay. The bottom line, if you're getting big buds for a cheap price, you're going to pay with your health, and health is wealth. If you're ingesting this in your body, stuff that has chemicals that haven't been flushed, haven't been tested, you don't know what it is, you would never eat food from a person if you saw them doing something shady to it. So don't smoke anything that someone's been. That's the difference between a legal dispensary and a trap. The weed in the legal dispensary has been tested. That's it. And anything that you ingest in your body, whether you put it in your eyes, your ears, your nose, your mouth, or your ass, it better be tested.
Man, good weed ain't cheap and cheap weed ain't good.
That's what I'm saying. You're going to pay. Whether you're going to pay to have good weed that's healthy for you, or you can get some little cheap shit that's going to fuck you up.
And clog up your capillaries.
I'm trying to tell you. What's going to clog up again, Kato?
Your capillaries.
Exactly. And you don't have a lot of those.
Respect your capillaries.
Respect your body. Health is wealth, man. You can't spend money if you're dead. Don't nobody want to be a sick millionaire. Okay?
No, not at all, man.
So.
And you know that actually is a good segment. Health is wealth, man, and it's not just about going after the health of our pockets. We need to go after the health of our bodies and really take care of ourselves and mental health, and making sure that we take time to chill and be with our families and take care of the things that we need to take care of. And in the lower income communities and the communities that that we both come from, and or at least our families or our friends or people that our culture is from, we don't get access to that kind of stuff because it's gangs or it's food deserts or it's everything's always on 100, so no one can ever be vulnerable. And so there's all these different elements, and we forget that like our personal health is the number one thing we need to take care of.
Well, I'm gonna tell you like this. Health is wealth, and your children will always do what they see you do, not what you tell them. They're gonna do what they see, not what you say, right? And that's what we know. So,
do you have kids?
No, I have no kids.
You got nieces, nephews?
Yeah, I got a niece, and she's a RN.
Oh, you one of them like players, man. You must be one of them ladies, man.
You know what, man? I'm gonna tell you.
You've been a player, huh?
Well, when people ask me about if I had kids, and I really try to explain to them, and they laugh it off. But in my other life, I had a big family. Okay, and I remember they was all around me when I died. So this time, when I did realize that I was, I had images of my old life, I said, oh, okay, well, shit, this life, I think I'm going to try to just, I had a big family before. I remember that, you know what I'm saying? This life, I'm just going to go for broke. And then maybe my next life, I remembered I didn't have no kids, and I probably want them again. But this one, I just said, okay.
I mean, congratulations, make, being
where
you at.
I'm a Yankee.
Not having a child that you didn't want.
Well, yeah, and then I respect the game. When I was younger, man, I was dealing with certain women that that I knew that it wouldn't be.
They wasn't the ones.
They wasn't the ones to have kids with, and it would probably mess both our lives up and ruin somebody's innocent life because I wasn't mature enough.
Yeah, we all went through that.
It takes time for a man to mature to understand what's going on, and then I also realized when I was young that I wanted to pursue business, and I knew that it was going to suck a life and a line out of everything else, and
which goes back to your point about relationships and your partners, your partner in business or your partner in your personal relationships.
Well, you know what, picking the right woman for your life, or a woman picking the right man, is like printing your own money. Okay,
man, this woman
the
right here,
woman in your life is like printing your own money, and it's one of the most important decisions because either it's going to build you up or take you down.
I strongly believe in that. I affirm that. Shout out L'Oreal. We've been married 22 years. You met her. You see how we get along. I don't have any friends. Let me repeat that. I don't have any friends that are my age that have been married as long as I have that are still together.
They beat the odds, bro. I've been married before. I had a beautiful wife. Met her when I was working for the school district and everything. And then, now that I look back while we got divorced, it probably was something that, probably could have got resolved. But I knew in my heart that I was just, You
was on your grind. You was on your mission.
Yeah,
and it's not for everybody. But I bring that point up not to talk about that part of it, but the point that like relationships are important, and like you chose the relationship to grow business and whatnot. So it's like,
So, looking back at it, maybe I should have popped a couple of little crack, little babies out. You know what I mean? Saying this and little shit, maybe,
Well, just to let you know, viewers, he's definitely available.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you want one, you looking to procreate, what I'm saying?
Send me your FICO score and everything. You know what I'm saying? Give me 3 references and everything, and send me. I'll send you a kit. You can swab your mouth. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna run your DNA profile, everything you see. Not for any weird reasons, just to see if you're genetically,
just genetically inclined to mesh with the
see if you got that
lifestyle.
little weird little chromosome. You know what I mean? It'll be a free test. I won't charge you for anything like that. So.
Yeah.
No, I'm just teasing though. But
So,
I
know, I get it. Let's circle back to your relationship with Catalyst and Normandie and the retail store. What are some things that you could tell some of the viewers that what you went through to kind of help avoid maybe some pitfalls or things, some challenges or obstacles that you faced?
Well, like I said, I tried to make sure that I had a good team around me, from consultant that'll guide me properly. I want to learn, the first 90 days is really, the first year is a learning process.
Sure.
Especially when you're involved in different businesses. The retail side of the cannabis market is complicated. There's different metrics and different systems that you have to learn. You know what I mean? And then, you have to be dialed in, sort of like a scope on a rifle. You know what I mean? And because what works, for a certain time of year might not work for another time of year. So you have to tailor your inventory towards that and whatever, and how you're trying to roll it out. Sort of like how different supermarkets or different department stores have campaigns that they launch, for the summer, for the Christmas time, for St. Patrick's Days or whatever. You get the flyers, same thing. So
and geographically too, probably like what works in the Valley may not work in South LA. What may not work in Long Beach.
You have to be sensitive. You have to try to make sure you keep your thumb on the pulse of the community. You need to know what's new, what's going on, what they like, what they don't like. They'll talk to you. They'll tell you everything they want. You know what I'm saying? You try to give them everything they need and most of the stuff that they want, you know what I mean? Within,
Speaking of that, tell us, what your stance on your local community is and what you do to, welcome feedback and whatnot. Cause I know that, there's been some community, issues, should I say. And so how do you, you're a welcoming person, right? So let the community, let the world know, and just in case the community sees what your policy is on community involvement.
Well, definitely, if there's, different ideas that want to be expressed or, someone wants to reach out, I'm always accessible. I have my number ready available through the actual employees at the dispensary. They can contact me anytime. I don't live far, you know what I mean? And, I understand that people won't, some people are not happy about having dispensaries around them. They're against it and everything. You have to respect them. There's pro people and there's con people, and both sides of it have to be, respected and heard. And then, so you try to, I'm a Libra. What I do is try to have harmony and balance. So I know that you have to give a little to get a little bit. Mm-hmm. So, if they don't want it there, let's see if we can find a way for it to benefit them and theirs.
Sure.
Maybe not as far as financially, but when things they want to see done in the community that can be met halfway, so that they can see that, okay, well, this place, I don't like it, but I know for sure that this is what they're doing to better the situation around here. You know what I mean? And also what I want to do is offer different things to the community through the many networks and connections that I have. I have resources that can offer free coding classes. You know what I mean? For the children, that offer coding, things like that they can build off of, that they can create a career with. We have partnering and teaming with you for little expungement camps and things like that. Any different resources that, as I travel through the cannabis community and I meet people and see what they have to offer, that I can bring back over there for people who do want to do things from the community. Because like I said, I don't pretend to be some person who knows this and that. And I'm just learning the game. You know what I mean? As far as on that side of it, and I'm a student to it. I don't have any ego. You know what I mean? I don't feel any way about asking questions or trying to learn what works and what doesn't work. And I try to, like I said, try to surround myself with people that are actually smarter than me. That's my mission. Okay, I want to be the dumbest person in the room. Okay, but I learn fast. I soak it up, and and I enjoy a challenge. So
that's awesome. I like to say I'm a king of all trades, not a jack of all trades.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Learn as much as I can in all different facets,
Definitely.
and then be good at what it is that I do, and bring
Definitely.
that part to the table.
I don't have to be the best at different things, but I can be the best at bringing the best together. You know what I mean? 'Cause
Right.
That's some things that if you're focused, you're number one.
That's a connector.
Yeah. Well, it's just like I said, it goes back to what? Distribution. Distribution can also, a big commodity in distribution is information. Mm-hmm. You can be the best person at a certain thing. You can be the best grower, but you don't really, you're so focused on your trade and your craft and demand so much of your time. You don't have time to go and hang out and powwow with different people. So you need to have somebody that you can call that can connect you with people to get what you need to get done. And that's the power of information.
And that's Mr. James Green.
And we know I won't say that. I just say I understand, and I kind of like to see the matrix and the pieces moving, and I understand the power of distribution and marketing and networking. Those are the lifelines. I don't care if we're selling seashells on the seashore. Marketing is everything.
Sure.
You have to look at, like I said, if you want to see the future, look to the past. Okay, 50 years ago, they had
1970.
in the 70s. They had
God, 50 years ago was 1970s.
I was born in 72. So
I remember when 50 years ago was 1950.
Think about it. In 75, 76, they had a thing called a pet rock. You can Google it. Okay? So somebody decided that they were going to market rocks that you can find on the ground, clean them up, shine them up, market them, and people were buying them. And it was a fad that caught on that people had pet rocks. They marketed it properly, and it became millionaires. Right now, they have a company that they sell. What they do is they have a service that you call them, you pay them, they send a potato to your house.
Yo, I think we need to get some all my mama potatoes for Kato.
And they have a company right now that you can call them and they'll send. You can call them right now and they're successful. These are $1 million companies. You can call them. They'll send elephant shit to people's houses. But they market it properly. There's a market out there for people who are disgruntled, who are mad. There are thousands of school shootings happen every day.
Kato got to do one. It said, "Hey, Kato got to do one."
You know what I'm talking about? You heard it before?
No, I'm shooting off some selling of shit.
Yo, yeah. Kato, can we get some elephant shit? But instead of it being the on my mama, it's from my mama.
From my mama. Okay, so can we pick the color of the shit? Because I want some dark green.
They do.
Yeah, I want thoroughbred shit. I don't want no pony shit.
What's the name?
You know what I'm saying? I want a stallion dookie. You know what I'm saying?
Wait a minute. What's the name of the company that sells elephant boo-boo and will ship it to people?
Real time Google Alexa analytics.
You heard it here first on
Right.
Radio.
Right, man. I it's on there though, bro. But everything I'm saying is true. Okay, but like I said, it all boils that back down to marketing, and marketing is going to be the lifeline of the cannabis industry and the brands once the big dogs come in.
Sure,
if you don't know how to do it, you're going to get washed by the big flood.
And, marketing just doesn't mean putting a wig on a pig, meaning, good brand, good packaging, good, and that's it. It means
good customer service,
good customer service, good customer relationships,
yes,
good product.
Standing behind, never burning the plug, standing behind, never crossing your people, you know what I mean? Your relationships, not selling people out, being greedy, having actual...
Reaching down to the community to help bring people up. Man. All of those things are a part of a brand, and that's what we strive to try to do at our brand. And it's tough because you're dealing with all these outside forces and compliance and regulation, and just you knew when you were getting licensed, and that's what we're dealing with. And so we're not even dealing with that. And the big dogs aren't here yet.
Yeah.
We think the MSOs are the big dogs and where everyone's in fear of the MSO. But like, we need the MSOs just as much as the MSOs need us, because when the big dog, that the Walgreens and Amazons of the world come into this thing, it's going to make an MSO look like a small little brand. So we need to make sure that we all that are in this industry now work together, to be able to compete. And marketing is a big part of that.
Definitely. Well, this is how it's going to go. If you want to know the future, you look toward the past. Look what happened with Prohibition. At first, they said it was illegal. Then they went ahead and they lifted the change of the law. Then they said you could drink in your house. And then they said you can go ahead and drink in bars and settings like that. Then it went to entertainment venues. So the people in the cannabis
and that
industry,
took years to do.
No, that took
each
years.
thing was
definitely
years.
But that's exactly what's going to happen. So the people in the cannabis market need to master marketing so that once the crash happens with retail, you can take your brand to the next level, to entertainment venues, or to partner with different places in the community that you can sell your stuff with, because that's what's going to happen. And then you also have to realize that there's a neutron bomb that's getting ready to go off in the Los Angeles community, and it's coming down the line. It'll be about a year or two away, maybe 2 years. The mushrooms are going to come, and there's going to be a big old wave of people taking mushroom. They're going to take it and concentrate it. It's not going to be those little mushrooms you eat and get a little. It's going to be like in suckers and candies, and that's going to compete with the marijuana cannabis market. Because there's some people that only want to deal with edibles. They don't like the smoke. They don't like the smell of it. They don't like none of that stuff. It's not, and they just want to pop it. So that's going to be something that we need to look forward to too. That's going to impact us. So
sure. Are you a consumer of mushrooms? Do you like using them? Are you into psychedelics and all that?
I'm gonna tell you like this. Next question.
Allegedly.
No, I'm just teasing. No, I have taken mushrooms before. When I was a little whippersnapper. You know what I mean?
I got some tea for you, bro. I got a really good friend.
What happened was that and I have friends that do have mushrooms and everything. And I could tell you a funny story. I remember I was with these girls and everything, and I was young. I thought it was going to be some little freaky situation, and they told me about the mushrooms, and I took them. And
you just wanted the mushrooms because you was thinking you was going to get laid.
I thought you was
getting, man.
And that taught me a lesson, too.
You're not really with the fungi, man.
Man, when I got to looking at my hand and seeing my hand moving and doing that crazy stuff, man, I said, oh, man, I ain't doing that, man, shit.
I have a friend of mine, his name's Hardick, man. Mm-hmm. He's a really good dude. He travels the world, and he's really into fungi, and he has this like microdosing tea. I'll make sure I send it to you, man. Put something at the bottom of the podcast on his tea, because it's really good shit, and it's the right amount of dosage. That's another thing in cannabis is I think a lot of the reasons why there's so much stigma is because the overdosage of weed. Everyone thinks when you smoke weed you just get super high and you're just fucked up, but it's not about that. There's so many other types and elements and medicinal factors that go into it.
But you have to realize that comes from how it's been portrayed in the media, TVs, radio,
and that's all we see.
Yeah, and so like I said, they're actually controlling the narrative and the marketing. People who don't smoke, so of course they want to make it look like when you smoke it, you're gonna lose your mind and everything, and shit. When your panties fly off and all this stuff, and you lose all your inhibitions. But it's not even like that.
Reefer madness is bullshit. But thanks to the internet and the democracy of information, we can now put it out on our own channels and do our own things. And even some of the big channels still shut us down and shadow ban us and do all that. But there are apps out there like Social Club or Sizzlet or Buddy Jane or some of the other ones that are out there where you can put your content. WeedTube, there's a few of them. We get to tell our story. Hence, this is what Tons Talk is about, is telling our story, telling our understanding of the plant. And so we get to help lower that stigma.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Well, you know what? I'll tell you another thing. It's like, there are people who get paid and put their kids through college funding misinformation so that they can make sure they get extra overtime and extra funding for the programs that they're running. It's good business. you have to always realize, and I don't ever want you to, to get past the point where you forget that we're in a capitalist nation. It's money being made putting people in jail for weed. People don't care if you're smoking. And some of the people putting people in jail for weed smoke too. They feel for you, but it's a business.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, at this point, when I guess they looked at it and said, well, we could probably make more money taxing and less stigma if we tax it rather than put people in jail for it. So that's what's happening right now.
And we can, though.
Yeah.
That's the thing. It's not even about...
But when they're taxing it, they're killing all of the incentive for people to be able to survive.
They're taxing it wrong, right?
Yeah.
So exactly. But the thing is there's way more money in keeping it legal if you do it the right way than there is locking people up and destroying communities and the psychological and physical and emotional and social costs associated to the financial gain way outweighs the financial gain in the long term of society. And so if we legalize this plant, we will change the pendulum on all those other things. And even though we may see a small decrease in the financial, we'll actually probably see a larger increase overall because now we got real products that we could sell all across the world. Right?
Definitely.
Coca-Cola's all across the world now. Imagine if weed was sold the way Coca-Cola was sold, right? If Coca-Cola was illegal, there's no way the money that they make keeping that illegal would be more than them making it legal.
Yeah.
And so we fight for the everyday man. We fight for the communities that have been affected that have generational displacement. Everybody talks about generational wealth. What about the generational displacement this plant has been put to a certain group of people, primarily BIPOC communities, poor communities. And, we want to be able to bring the two together and bring them up. And that's why we, of course, let the market tell us that our shit sucks. Let us lose because of true capitalistic issues. If we don't have the right distribution or we don't have the right product in our thing or we don't have the right packaging that's in that, let the consumers let us know that our stuff doesn't work.
Yeah, dial it in.
And let us lose that way, not because we're already screwed before we even start.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
Let us run and lose the race than never even letting us get into the game at all.
Well, I'm gonna tell you like this. When you deal with business is money and money is power, and then power has its tenets too. And then a good guide to handling power is the 48 Laws. And the 48 Laws says what? Plan it all the way to the end. That's
Many
one of the
things.
40 laws. So,
48.
That being said, the people who decriminalized marijuana didn't decriminalize and just let it float and just see what happened. They planned everything to the end. So this is just phase 1, then phase 2, then phase 3. So in between there, and your job is to recognize that your job is to be able to adapt and survive to the changing conditions. Okay? Because it's never going to be fair.
Sometimes these conditions may take 200-300 years, though. It started this shit 60, 70, 80 years ago, right?
Well, okay, with that being said.
1934, 35, whenever it was, 36.
Some things, okay, look at history. If you look at history, it'll tell you what happened in the future. Just for instance, okay, things that happened that America was perpetuating to different people that over the last 200 or 300 years, if we look back, right? There were also small pockets of people who lived in colonies who were surviving during that time, like the Geechees. You know what I mean? South Carolina now. Right, yep. During slavery time. That nobody wanted to fuck with them on their little island. They already knew that it was going to be some shit. And that was during that time. So with that idea, we're going to say during these financial turmoil, this cannabis, turbulent time in cannabis, you have to have the Geechee mindset that we're going to survive through this by either proper marketing, branding, transforming our ideas, being multifaceted. So, like a canoe. You want to have as much buoyancy as you have. Sometimes you have to put out floaters on the canoe like the Hawaiians do to balance it out. So you have to have different industries or different businesses that you create in case something goes down over here, the rest of it keep you financially stable. So it's your job to, keep your eyes open, network with different people, keep your ears open, see what's new, what's happening, and then learn the tenets of marketing so that you can survive. Because that's what's going to happen. We already know how they're going to let them in, and they're going to crush everybody.
Sure.
Look at. That's why we have Anheuser-Busch and all these other big ones. You don't see the small mom and pop breweries that came right after Prohibition that were around for 20, 30 years before the legislation made it hard for them to survive and they died.
And to even take that a step further, What happened actually right when Prohibition got passed, in the very beginning of Prohibition, they only gave out, like, I want to say 5 or 6 licenses.
Exactly.
And what ended up happening was the Anheuser-Busch's of the world took over for 30 years. And it wasn't until like the late 60s, 70s, and then 80s came along when those mom and pops came around to even get into the game. And then now 30 years later, they've pushed the mom and pops out because they didn't have that run. Imagine having a 50-year head start on anything. You know what I mean? And so we get it. You know what I mean? It just means we got to lace our boots up. We got to do more squats so that when we get on that track, we can run faster. And eventually what's going to happen is we're going to catch up. But we're going to have to go through that process where we have to run faster than the folks that don't have to run as fast.
What we have to do is build leverage in the industry.
The number one tool in any negotiation is what?
Leverage.
Thank you.
You can't get paid unless you have leverage. So you leverage by building your brand, by making the right connections. You leverage by, even if you have to, deal with people that you really don't like. Okay?
Listen, my uncle,
business.
Man, my uncle used to say, he used to play semi-professional baseball, and he used to say, you don't need to, like, everybody on the team don't need to be friends. Mm-hmm. What you need to be is respecting of your roles. And when you get on that team and you come together and you play that game, we're all one unit. But whether or not we personally hang out over here, that's not the point. The point is about respecting the other person's job, role, and working together so that you could all go. In baseball, is 1 + 1 + 1 usually equals 9, but 1 + 1 + 1 + 1 equals 100. So it's like I respect what you're saying. We're gonna take a quick little break. I always forget to do this towards the beginning, but I'm gonna do it now because better late than never. I want to give a big shout out to our sponsors. And for those that help keep us going, big shout out to Hemper. They're a very large cannabis and smoking accessories e-commerce brand. You can find them at hemper.co. We got some really cool bongs coming out. These are just some prototypes that we're playing around with. We got some rolling trays from them coming out. And we got these really cool keepers that are coming out or that are already out that you can get when you buy our products in California. Shout out Rooted in Good, which is our partner, which is a Cure Relief program. Rooted in Good. Asia, Raheem, Khadijah, Darius, they run that department over there, and they help us bring more restorative justice to the community. Shout out to Herbal, who's our distributor. Shout out to Sunset Connect, who's our manufacturer. And shout out to all the other brands that just kind of show us love and help take care of us. Purple Banter is producing this wonderful podcast. We're here at the White House, shooting here at this podcast studio in Inglewood, California. And then who else we got up in here that I want to thank? Oh, Media Jail. Media Jail is our marketing partner and our advertising partner. And then we got just a bunch of other partnerships. We got MJ Pack that's coming down the pipeline soon. We're going to be working with HPI Canna in New York. We work with Brand Resumes, which is all over the country to help people get better resumes and increase their personal brand. And yeah, just wanted to do that. Got to always pay the sponsors or shout out the sponsors because we got to pay our bills. And much love, respect. Back to the show. And we do this for the capillaries. You know what I mean? I think we're gonna do some capillaries, and then we're gonna get them on my mama potatoes, and then from my mama elephant shit, and we're gonna be good. Ain't that right, Kato?
Oh my mama!
But when we selling elephant shit,
It's gotta be green, the green shit.
and it's
I'm talking
from my mama.
from my mama, and it's got all the capillaristicsness in the shit. Mm-hmm. It's like it don't have no lines in it. It's all straight down green dookie.
Fresh.
Straight from the horse's knee now.
Exactly.
So we're already about an hour and 5 minutes, so we'll wrap this up. But is there anything that is going down with Catalyst Normandie, Mr. Puff and Pate, or you just as a person that you want to talk about, share? How can they get into your store? Like, what are some,
Okay, we're located on 83rd and Normandy. We're black-owned dispensary. We're going to develop a black-owned brand shelf that you can come in. We're going to be one of the only ones in LA that have a black-owned shelf that with about 4 or 5 different growers. We're going to have a Humboldt County shelf with the legendary Humboldt County growers, people that have been in the game 50 years with the pedigree. We're going to bring different things because the competition is so fierce in our community. What we have to develop is a attractive cabinet where we offer different brands that they can't get anywhere else. They don't have access to, that have stories behind them that they could look up and respect and connect with. You know, it's bigger than just buying something that's smoke good. They have a lot of weed that smoke good, but you want to buy weed or support someone who you can resonate with their story. Okay, that's what we want. The brands in there that you can look up and see the headlines of what they went through back in the day to get to this point. You know what I mean? Because everybody needs to respect each other and what they've been through. You know what I mean? So I want to shy away from the big corporate brands that come in there with their bullshit and everything. I mean, you have your ones that people like, and I'm not gonna say no names, and they come in there and they got their stuff, But I also want to have a sacred shelf for real organic marijuana cannabis brands that from around the country, not just locally. If they have a one that is sourced properly and it has a nice story behind it, from a different state or whatever, I want it. I don't care if it's from another country. If they can get it to us, we'll feature it on our shelf, and that's something we'll have over our competition. So we'll develop a nice, diverse menu, and that that you can like I said, resonate with and connect with.
Man, I love it.
Yeah.
Where can they find you at? How can they follow you? Where can they get
Normandie, right there on the corner.
digitally?
You can go on Catalyst. You go on Instagram. It's Catalyst_Normandie.
Okay.
That's our stuff. You can go online at Catalyst Normandie. Our menu and everything's on there. We're developing a delivery pilot, so that's coming soon. So like I said, we're going to be the one that offers things that other people don't around us to differentiate us from other people. And we want to be a reliable partner in the community that they can say, when I go purchase from them, I know that they do stuff for us. Or even have other things that, that they won't do, like have food trucks there for you, the first 50 there get free food or whatever. Little things that we can do with the slim profit margin that we do have that we can give back and that, we know y'all appreciate. Yeah.
Sure. Is there anything going on with Mr. Puff and Paint that we should know?
Now, Mr. Puff and Paint, that's an art studio where you drink beer, wine, and champagne. We have a hookah available for you and everything, and we have art classes where we start from scratch. We go step by step and show you exactly how to create the image, and people love it. We're mixing entertainment and education.
Very smoker friendly.
Yeah, so we just want to spread love and good vibes throughout the community. It's just a beautiful thing. We work with the children, we work with the older community, our elders, and we have private parties for everybody. It's just a beautiful thing, and we also franchised it. So if you're looking to have a nice low saturation business that you can definitely benefit from the good vibes and also teach your family the tenets of business and education and belong to our franchise network that we're going to develop around from coast to coast. Check us out. It's Mr. Paint and Puff on Instagram. You can reach me at mr.paintandpuff, PAINTANDPUFF at Gmail. We have franchise opportunities at $60,000.
Oh man, low barrier to entry compared to a lot of franchise.
60,000. You keep 95% of the money. We only take 5% royalty, and like I said, we're building up a nice, hopefully a nice minority owned. Well, it's minority owned, but a nice network of minority entrepreneurs. Well, not really minority. We want to offer it, and that's what it's for. But anybody who is willing to,
you want to empower,
Yeah, I want to empower the
group.
people that are like me, basically. But I'll take anybody who has the passion for art, because it's bigger than just a racial thing. It's about wanting to give back and have a positive place in the community for people to go to get their worries and stresses off their mind, because like we say, you can't create and worry at the same time. You're either going to worry or you're going to create, and we're going to create the environment so that you have no choice but to want to create. And once you create, you're going to benefit from it, and we're going to release those endorphins in your mind, and you're going to enjoy it, and we're going to lift that little whatever was bothering you when you walked in right off your shoulders. And hopefully it'll be off for a few hours until, it wears off. And then you just come back and we do it again.
Man, I love it, man. Well, Thank you for coming through to Tons Talk. Thank you for
I appreciate the opportunity.
Dropping your wisdom.
Thank you for inviting me, for introducing me to the doc and everybody, man. Thank you for, welcoming me and Cato into your 40 tons, man. We definitely appreciate it, man. I can't wait to learn as much as I can from you. You've been in the game for a while. And
press 1 to send a voicemail. Press 2.
Oh snap!
The homie's calling, so it's like I can't.
Oh, okay.
We gonna say what's up to the homie right now.
Yeah.
An inmate at the Mecklenburg County Jail. To accept this call, press 0.
Yeah.
To refuse this call. This call is from a correction facility and is subject to monitoring and recording.
Yeah, man.
Come on,
Thank you for using Global Telling.
It don't get more realer than that. Sammy, how you doing?
I'm all right.
What's going on, man? You're actually live right now on a podcast. I'm filming Tons Talk live on a podcast right now. There's 3 cameras on us. We're filming. We're on the we're on them internets and them Instagrams. And I said, listen, Sammy's calling us. Collect right now, and you're on it live right now. I said, listen, man, he's ready to hop on a horse right now and just go and we're just gallop all around town, man.
That's right.
Man, you've been down for what? Almost how long now?
21 years, 5 months.
Man, 21 years, 5 months, man. That's my Uncle Sammy Blanchard. You're live right now on Tons Talk. My man
Big
James
Sam.
Green. My man James
Respect.
Green's being interviewed.
What's up, Green?
How you doing, man?
I'm good.
It looks like he's coming home, so they got him back at the county
all right,
jail.
All right. That's what's up. That's what's up.
12 people can't shoot no gun.
That's right. 12 people can't shoot no gun. That's a fact.
You get my package?
Hey, you ain't gonna believe this, right? When I left Florida and was in transit back here,
From
I went
Coleman?
to that same spot.
Are you
When I
serious?
left Coleman, we stopped at that same spot again, man. Hey, I went to Osceola, and then first I went to Talladega, then Tallahassee, then I went to Atlanta, then I went to freaking Osceola. But on the way to Osceola, we stopped.
Oh man, we was in Osceola. We was in Osceola in 2013 or 14 together. 14, yeah, man. Well, you coming home, brother? You definitely coming home. This is as real as it gets. Like we didn't plan this. This isn't for the cameras.
No.
This is a random phone call.
It's all vibes, man.
This is all vibes. This is Uncle Sam on the phone right now. Did you get my package?
Yeah, I did. That's the reason I was calling you. I got the package, and I was going to call. I appreciate that. Thank you, man.
You got it, brother.
Oh, hey, do me a favor and call freaking Coleman and find out if they mailed that box or not, man. Because I mailed that box off like a week before I left.
I got you.
It's got all my pictures in there. All my pictures of you and your family. All my pictures of people I've taken pictures with over the years, and then all my family.
Yeah.
That's all I'm worried about. Really, is my damn photo album.
Yeah, I feel you, bro. I'll hit up Coleman. I'll see what's going on. I'll do it tomorrow. It's already past. It's PS. I'm on PST time, so ES. What time's it out there?
Yeah, I know that. I know you can't do it right now because it's like 5 o'clock out there right now. But it's 8 here, so they're not there anyway. Now.
I'll call you. I'll call them tomorrow and just I'll let you know what it is. But you coming home next month, bro?
Yeah, I should be going in front of a judge about the end of February. They said.
Man,
I talked to my lawyer yesterday, and she said that the
as real as it
DA
gets.
had knee replacement or something, and so they put it off for a little bit.
Well, I'll tell you right now, man. I got a horse out here for you to hop on that horse, and we gonna sell some weed. We gonna get that horse all high. I'll tell you that right now.
We're gonna take that horse to the murder van. We're gonna ride out in the desert.
Well, man, Sam, you literally called while we are recording a live studio show right now, and you're gonna be you'll be on this episode, man. When you come home and you come out this way, you'll meet James. He's one of the owners of a dispensary here in South LA. That's a big dispensary, and a couple of the other homies that are here, you'll meet them as well. And you know, this is forever now online.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it, and because I'm not gonna be hanging out here in North Carolina much longer. I'm gonna try to get relocated once I get out of here. They wouldn't let me. They told me I couldn't leave. They said I had to leave out to my Seneca state. Is what they told me. I was going to try to come out that way, but they said I had to be released to my Seneca state. So
we'll figure it out. Once you get out here, we'll work the wiggle. We'll figure out what needs to be done, and you already know what it is. There's always a spot on the team. There's somebody that we always need to clean up the shit and wash the windows, man. So you always got a spot on the team, man.
Thank you, man.
I'm just fucking with you, man.
I'll take one for the team too.
Oh yeah, I know.
Try to reach out to Southwest for me, man. Let them know I'll probably get out of here this next month.
I will.
Or February, so yeah.
Yep, I will. I got you, brother. I already put a message out.
I ain't really trying to reach out to him because I know he's on federal paper, so I can't. I don't want to cause him any problems. So this, if you can, you reach out to him, let him know I'm probably getting out of here.
I will. I know someone that knows him, so I'll reach out. But man, much love, bro. We're gonna get back to the podcast. But you made your first debut, man. You from jail, man.
Yeah, that's great. That's great.
What's up.
Great. I love y'all, man.
Man, love you too, bro. We'll talk soon.
Okay.
All right,
All right. Wish you the best.
All right, you too. Come on, man. It don't get more realer than that, dude.
Man.
That was awesome. That
vibes, bro. You see how everything's happening, man? It's crazy, man.
He's your age too, man. He's an OG, man, and been down 21 years, man, for bank robbery.
Wow.
But some bullshit, but just a good dude. Been at all the USPs and shit, and just was a good dude, man, and I appreciate him, man, and we just built a good friendship over the last 10 plus years.
Yeah, that's what's up.
But man, that's how it happens, man. You know what I mean? It's crazy. Like me and Corvain, we be doing interviews and shit, and Corvain gets the phone calls, and it's like like this is what we do it for. Like we're not advocating what we did in the past, but what we did in the past was sell weed without a license. Mm-hmm. We just believe that the punishments don't fit the crimes, and if we're gonna make billions on this plant, then we need to free the people that are behind bars for this plant. We're not talking about nothing else. You know what I mean? I obviously, I also believe that just the drug war in general is excessive. But as it relates to this cannabis plant, nobody should be in jail for this shit. Yeah. We're making too much money on it legally.
Somebody had a proposal how they could make money and expand different agencies and how it could benefit them, and they pushed it, and it was only going to affect certain communities that other people had thought that it was a win-win.
That was their way, and that chapter needs to come to an end. And there's a new way to do this, and there's a new way for all of us to win, and there's a way for them to even keep their money and us have a seat as well, where we all could thrive. Like, we're a gluttonous society. Definitely. And being gluttonous, the definition of gluttonous is just being super greedy. Like, it's like you don't need to do that. There's enough to go around. And with the way that Mother Earth, in addition to Mother Ganja, but Mother Ganja's mother is Mother Earth, and Mother Earth knows how to replenish herself. Ever seen one of them videos of a place that just got destroyed by a fire? Then it does a time lapse over the next 3 months, like if it was in the jungle or in other places of the world, and then it regenerates itself. It's burned down to the ground.
Fire is a natural part of the forest. That's why we have such big fires right now, because we suppress fires for 20, 30 years in a certain area. The foliage grows and then turns to a super fire. Fires are just like you have a rose that blooms and then the petals fall off and then the seeds drop and then it grows a new rose.
And it redoes
Fires
it. It regenerates.
Are naturally made. That's why lightning hits certain areas so that it can burn and regenerate.
That's a great metaphor for the cannabis industry. We're going through that process now. We had to get burned, right? These last 50 years, we're getting burned, going to prison, losing our families, dealing with criminalization. But now it's starting to seed. and give it another 20, 30. And if we put the right mechanisms in place, we will see a rebirth, a regenerative element to cannabis. And we're just excited that we get to be a part of that. We get to plant those seeds. We are the seeds.
Yeah, definitely. But we have to, like I said, stay conscious and realize that
and water
the people who did legalize it, like the 48 laws.
You mean illegalize it?
Well, yeah. The people who decided that they weren't going to criminalize it like they did in the past.
Oh, got you.
They planned it all the way to the end. So you have to realize that we need to find out what phase of the plan we are in, and to make sure that we move accordingly.
Sure,
you know what I mean? And like I said, we might have to innovate a couple of things, change a couple of things, but we have to stay fluid and recognize what's going on. That's what's because if not. If we go with the flow and do what everybody else do, then we're gonna end up what everybody else got, and then we're gonna look back at it like, dang, we should have zigged when we zagged. You know what I mean?
Exactly. So, well, look, man, this comes to an end, man. Definitely want to give a big shout out to my guy Sammy Blanchard, man. I be making fun of him because he has that hard accent, but he's a good dude. He's a really, really good individual, man. And it's crazy because. If you knew Sam don't let nobody do that. But we made such a really good relationship that, and he knows like I'm like his little nephew. Yeah. So he loves when I clown him because he doesn't get much laughter in there. You know. Yeah, man. But I appreciate him calling. I appreciate Cato coming through and dropping us a big surprise on us, and actually kind of like got involved in the podcast. You know what I mean? Like was actually in it. Like there's a guest star. Yeah. You know what I mean? I need you on camera. Can you say, do I have rights to actually use this and put it out on our page?
Yeah.
All day, man. 40 tons, we in the building. Like I told you, man. Like the bottom stairs. So you gotta know when to take the shit off. Like the bottom stairs bathroom. Oh my. Dang.
There it is, man. We got permission. Thank you, man. Thank you, James, for everything.
You're more than welcome. Thank you for inviting me, man. Like I said, man, anything to further the cause, you know what I mean, and push the brand. Let's go. Let's
go. Man, thank you for watching another episode of Tons Talk. We appreciate you, CV, L'Oreal, myself. We are the brand. We love the brand. We love our mission. We love what we do. We are here to help free the cannabis prisoners, do our small little part amongst an industry that has a ton of players in it that are actually helping to do the freeing. We want to give them opportunities when they come home. We want to bring people into this space. We want to help get ownership, but we really want to help people get ownership of their personal brand and their business brand, and then taking it to the next level and creating generational wealth. Peace and love, y'all. Tons Talk. We'll see you on the next one.
Now I put money on your books until the day that you sentence up. One nigga Corvain said he living life after life. For all the homies on the bunks that was talking night after night.